Welcome to the PanelCast. I am your host AJ, and that's Richard over there. Hi, Richard.
How's it
Actually, I'm
going?
Kennedy. Kennedy. Sorry, my
Never gets
ball
old.
makes me think I'm Kennedy, the old WWE wrestler. Kennedy. Um,
So, how are you doing today, AJ? Long time no speak.
I know, huh? Yes, get on the same page as me so that this time it won't just be my fault. What you guys don't know is that we already recorded this. Well, we already did this episode. We just forgot to hit the record button.
We?
I blame Richard. It is all Richard's fault. He's too lovely an assistant.
I don't have the record button.
He so hit record. He forgot to hit record. It's all Richard's fault. Richard of Chaos Collectibles, Crooked Smile Collectibles. So on this week's episode, we will be discussing. I don't know. What are we talking? We're talking about wrestling,
Yes, WWE Bash of Berlin,
correct? And
the new
then,
Call of Duty beta that came out over the weekend.
correct. I will be opening signature series 112 Optimus Prime from the new Transformers One film that's coming out soon.
It comes out this month, right?
I want to say yes, but I'm not too sure. I know the advertisements are rolling heavy this
Yeah,
month.
I think it's in September.
Now, there's only one way to find out, and that's with the glorious power of Google. And it comes out September 18th. So, yeah, that puts it right around the corner. And I think that's all we're going to be talking about today, right? Not
Yeah,
much more.
I mean, we had a pretty good run of it last time, and we weren't even halfway through. So,
We'll hit the record button next time, Richard, and we won't have this problem.
right.
Okay? Some people, I swear.
Well, I did notice when you went to pause it, and then you told me that it told me then that it was recording. So now I can tell if you were recording.
Again,
How many times have you checked it right now?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Keep looking.
Well, let's first off, one of the things we did cover in the previous discussion, the recording before the recording, was that I got a new phone. Yay! I got the Flip 6. I am 51 years old, and I got the Flip 6, which you would think that someone of my age would have gotten something that would display something bigger for my old eyes, so I can push the big buttons. So I don't. Well, guess what? This thing has voice control, so I don't have to use my fingers.
I think that's reminiscent of the old flip phones. So
Of the old razors and stuff. Yeah,
can you set it up just like an old to look like an old razor?
maybe. This is the art that you see right now. This is Joel Gomez. He is a fantastic artist, especially with Batman Beyond, DC Comics. He's on Instagram right now. Go check him out. He does amazing artwork. This is just one of his warm-up doodles. And I had to steal it and make it my background. Because, because Batman was getting lonely. So anyway, I love this phone. It's great. Tech geeks like myself can find a lot of use out of it. I went small because I always carry around big devices with me everywhere I go, and I just wanted something smaller. Not worried.
Running out of room in your little con sack.
I'm running out of room in my little Merce. my man purse, which Richard and my wife affectionately refer to it as, out of
Purse.
jealousy. It's a merce.
No, it's a purse. There's no such thing as a man purse. That's like saying man bun. Those things don't exist. Those are made up words.
Merce.
Purse.
Ingwe. Satchel.
You're not Indiana Jones.
It's a satchel. Okay.
I used to. A guy used to come into the club, and he wore a leather one, and he always called it a satchel, and I would always tell him that I'm like, you're not Indiana Jones.
Well, it's shaped like the bag I have is shaped like a butt pack. I am ex-army, and that was what appealed to me, so that's why I got it. So I can call it a butt pack, sir, because I am ex-military. He says with this pink vape.
Except the fact that you carry it like a purse.
I carry it like a satchel. Goes across like a cross bag. It's a sling bag. Shut up. Wrestling. Wrestling.
Hey. So, this weekend.
Where?
Huh?
Battle where?
Bash in Berlin.
Bash in Berlin.
Yeah, it was like the show was good. It was solid PLE. The crowd, however, made it awesome. The crowd responses, the crowd like we had discussed before, European crowds are amazing. And Germany has never had a big PLE. They've only ever had like small house shows and stuff. So they went all out.
Remind me again. Remind the me and the audience again. What does PLE stand for?
It's
and why is it called
premium
PLE
live
now?
event. It's premium live event. They use that term instead of pay-per-view now.
Why?
Because I guess, because it's not pay-per-view.
But you are paying to view it in some ways, aren't you?
But you're not paying per view.
Yes, you are.
No. You don't pay for it every time you look.
Per person to view it. Anyway.
Well, that's the term they use. Most people are starting to adopt it, really. So I don't know why. Because a lot of people still do traditional pay-per-view. I think it's because they're getting away from the pay-per-view company to do them through streaming services and stuff like that. So it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
They need to rebrand it for the new way to deliver it. I understand, but
yeah,
it's just more confusing.
Yeah, well, you're old. So Bash in Berlin. The coolest thing about it is
we're the same age.
No, I'm only 51.
So am I.
I'm only 50.
You just said you're only 51. You heard it here, audience. You heard it.
I'm only 50.
You just said 51.
I know. In 2 months. Well, a month.
Same thing.
But so the cool thing is, and the reason I like the European PLEs or the big shows is because they happen in the afternoon. Like it's weird. Not that I have a problem with it being late, but if they're longer, it's kind of a pain in the butt, And this happened in the middle of the afternoon. There was only 5 matches, so it wasn't super long. It didn't last forever. And it was awesome. The matches, they were either every match had a story to it. So that's the thing that I think is really cool. They started off with Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. I mean, in the story, Kevin felt like he didn't deserve a title shot. He said, look at my win-loss record as of late. It's not any good. I don't deserve a shot. And he had to be convinced to take the title shot. And then everybody assumed, you would assume that Kevin's going to turn on Cody because that's what Kevin notoriously does. The only person that turns more than Kevin Owens is the Big Show. So, But he actually fought the urges, and you could see him fight him throughout the match. There's a part where Cody had hurt his knee, and he didn't immediately attack it. He had to think about it. There's a point where he goes to do the pop-up power bomb outside the ring on the ring apron, and he couldn't do it. Instead, he just threw him in, and ultimately he ended up losing. Initially, when Cody goes to shake his hand, he bats it away, and then then he does it. Then he shakes his hand, gives him a big hug. But I don't know if it's leading into a longer storyline between these two as a distraction, because I think Solo's going into a program with Roman. So that big bloodline feud is that's the one storyline everybody wants. So it makes more sense for them to go in further with this Kevin and Cody thing. But I guess we'll see. The second match was Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus the Unholy Union, is their tag team name. It's Ilsa Dawn and Ava Fire, and they or Alba Fire, and they
should have just gone with the Dawn of Fire.
Dawn of Fire, yeah, right. They put on a good match. It was predictable as far as who was going to win. I didn't like. It was shocking when they won the titles, but and it's leading way to other storylines. Like there's like a 3-way feud going on, which I really can't stand. I can't stand. It's just too many people. It's just too much. It really muddies the water is the best way to put it. You're talking, 6 people in a feud battle. Like it's just, and I always thought 3-way tag team matches is really, unless you got, and even when you have 3 of them in there at once, it's weird. But when it becomes a tag team match when there's only 2, but you have 3 teams, it's clunky to me. Anyway, Jade and Bianca won. There was some cool little spots in there and everything. The Unholy Union, actually, those girls can really wrestle. Like they're veterans. They've been around for a while. They did a lot in Europe. I'm glad they're actually on the big stage where people can see what they can do. I think it's a waste having them in a tag team, but there's 3 tag teams, female tag teams in WWE. I don't know why we have titles. I guess there's 4. I don't know why we have titles.
So they can rotate.
Yeah, right. So moving forward, the next match is CM Punk and Drew McIntyre in a strap match. The match wasn't overly brutal because the WWE doesn't do it quite that over the top. There was a lot of brutality. There was a lot of whipping, though, and getting hit with the leather strap thumbs. They go at it, and those two don't like each other. They may not hate each other, but they definitely don't get along. So they're going a little harder than normal. And like Punk really, like I thought, just put a period on the end of the feud, and he won in a decisive manner. Where to win a strap match, you have to touch all 4 corners,
right?
Every turnbuckle, and Punk would pick up Drew, give him a go to sleep, touch a turnbuckle, and he did that for all 4 turnbuckles. So that's just the way that shows dominance right there in that victory. And I thought it was going to be the end of the feud. He took back his bracelet, which is part of what this feud has been over. Then Monday, Drew just obliterated Punk, sent him off in an ambulance, bloodied, just beat the tar out of him, man. So it looks like this is going to continue probably all the way to Bad Blood. And hopefully they do it in a Hell in a Cell or something like that. I don't see them being able to do it in anything else. Some kind of a cage match at the very least. But this feud, like it's got some life to it. Like it's really story driven. But these two beat the crap out of each other, man. Like,
Well, maybe they were showing how a strap match should be in opposition to the strap match we got at the AEW pay-per-view with Mercedes Moné and was it Mercedes Moné? No, it was Thunder Rosa and wasn't it the Virtuosa?
oh, that was on Ring of Honor.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe because it
Yeah,
had been
Peraza.
and it was a weak match. They didn't even touch all four corners. They just had to
Hit him.
pin. Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. Maybe that match was in opposition to that. You know, like, well, you got a weak one. Here's a real one.
Yeah, they really put it in. They put it in the work, and like I said, those two don't really like each other too much. So, also, who's got a pretty big part in that new Batista movie?
Oh, the Killick one.
Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to that. I heard an interview with him today. Speaking of interviews, the interview that I had heard, I'm bringing it up again, with Damian Priest and the missed opportunity that we had to have him in the Black Panther 2.
Do you honestly think he would have made that big of a difference, or do you think, are you bringing it up because you think it's messed up that VKM held him back?
I think he would have made that big of a difference. Dude, that dude looked like me playing Namor. And honestly, just the physical presence would make you change your mind, how you look at the film. Doesn't make it. I mean, I didn't hate the film, but I couldn't believe Namor being any kind of a threat. It's just, it was bad casting. Even if I'm not even 100% sure he was supposed to play Namor. That's what everybody's saying, but
That's the
he could have been. What's the other one's name? The guy that he's more militant than Namor. I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, Attila?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Now that would be a part, huh?
Or is that DC?
It's something with it is with an A.
Yeah.
But I think that just the presence would have made a difference. You know, I mean, look at Michael B. Jordan. Like he was physically, the presence makes all the difference in the world. So, but anyway, back to the wrestling. Speaking of Damian Priest, the next match was Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest versus Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio.
Atuma.
Atuma, that's the name. This match is it's this match is it's TV novella. It's romantic tragedy. And the crowds are eating it up. They love it. It's a good story. It's a nice twist on an old wrestling trope, an old storytelling trope. You know, there's only 4 types of stories in the world. It's a different way of presenting it. Now, though, it seems like on Monday they brought Jey Uso into it. So they have Jey teaming up with Rhea, and I think that's going to leave way for Damian to not be involved in that feud anymore. Because number one, presence, like I just said, Damian I have a hard time believing that Dominic Mysterio is a threat to Damian Priest. which is weird because we believed that Rey Mysterio was a threat to Batista. So, but that's years of sacrificing that underdog and coming back and stuff like that. So you start to kind of. I don't think Dominic's got to that point of suspension of disbelief yet.
Yeah,
but I think him and Jay are more on a level playing field where it's a little bit more believable. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. And it gives like Damian was just the world champion. It gives him leeway to do other things. To start either challenge Gunther or just to have bigger feuds. To be more important to the show than stuck in a mixed gender tag team match. And then we have the final match, which was it was freaking awesome. Like Gunther and Randy Orton just put on a hell of a match. Like they went all out. And it wasn't one of those matches where Gunther would just chop the hell out of him. Like he was trying to out wrestle Randy. It was very physical. They were just like beating the snot out of each other, man. It was a great match. I would say it was my favorite match over the weekend, except for Josh Alexander and Nick Nemeth plot in a 30-minute Iron Man match. And that match was amazing. But it was definitely my favorite match of this PLE, of this show. It was everything you would expect Gunther and Randy Orton to be. And they actually shook hands at the end. So I don't know if that was just for the German crowd, the crowd in Germany, since Gunther's from Austria, but they did put on a hell of a match, and it was all in all it was an entertaining pay-per-view. Everything had a story to it, and it wasn't super long. So
it was different than their usual pay-per-views, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it was different than anybody's usual pay-per-views. It was a lot. It was a lot shorter. So yeah, it was kind of a sigh of relief. I gotta take the dog out. Can you pause it, or does it just stop?
It sounds like it was a pretty awesome pay-per-view. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a solid one, and I like it. Like especially right after All In, because that was an amazing pay-per-view. So for I like it when and even TNA's PLE was really good too. So I like to see everybody like putting out good. I just love good wrestling. So
you know what I'm not a fan of though is that AEW is putting out another show this weekend.
Yeah, All Out or
like, we got less than 2-week break from All In, and now we have All Out. And it's not that I don't mind the wrestling; it's I don't mind the $50 a pay-per-view that I got to fork out in order to enjoy this.
Yeah,
and that's $50 2 weeks later after already putting out $50.
And you're not really getting any. Like the matches aren't really continuations of stories except for Hangman Page and Swerve, and then you have MJF and Daniel Garcia. That's another one, but the rest are just kind of thrown together. Like why are Claudio and Wheeler Yuta going for the tag team titles and not the Acclaimed?
Where are the Acclaimed? I haven't seen them this week.
They were since the pay-per-view, I haven't seen them. Yeah,
maybe it'll show up tonight. We'll see. Tonight's supposed to be a very long night of wrestling.
Today's Thursday.
Is it?
Yes.
That's so. I don't know. We can put this up tomorrow, and then we could make you look stupid. How's that, Richard?
Well, I assume you're going to put it out tomorrow anyway.
But tomorrow's Saturday. Because it is now Friday.
Got you.
Because
Wait.
I am supposed to be Kang.
You're supposed to be Kane?
Kang.
Oh.
But I got too big for my britches too fast. So, Call of Duty. The new one, the beta came out this weekend, and you got down on it.
So the beta for Black Ops 6 came out, and they're doing something that they refer to as omni movement. So now you have the ability to, the old slide maneuver, which everybody was doing. But now you can slide forward, backwards, and side to side, which, number one, is physically impossible. But you can also, and I saw a TikTok. There's a guy did a TikTok. I think his name's Fredo, and he said his words were something to the effect. I'm going to paraphrase, but he said the new Call of Duty commercial is doing more to not sell a game than anything I've ever seen in my life, because they show the omnidirection. You see a guy jump and like spin in the air, land, and quick kill somebody with a sniper rifle without using a scope. Like quick scopes them. Like after jumping off a building, flipping multiple times and landing, and it's just it's too much. And you can use people as human shields. It's that part I think will get taken out, because people are putting some memes and videos out there that are very suggestive about when they have people when they're holding from behind.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I just think I think the movement and everything, I think it's just too much. I mean, the reason I liked Call of Duty, I wasn't big on the Advanced Warfare, I believe is the name of it, the one that had the jumpsuits and everything, the mech-like suits. Well, they were closer to the G.I. Joe suits, from the movie. But I didn't like it because of how unrealistic it was. And now when you can slide backwards, like...
Can you imagine? Whoa!
Yeah.
What was the name of that movie where everybody got sucked off into the air? That movie where all the aliens were sucking people off into the air?
Now they're showing it, like I saw it on TikTok earlier today, where people are doing what they refer to as the frog jump. So they go and they start to slide and then they jump backwards. So it throws everybody's aim off. Like, it's just, there's nothing fun about that. So yeah,
that move got popularized by the movie Act of Valor because of the scene where it shows the guy sliding and shifting at the same time. Right after that movie was made, it became super popular in the game, and demand for it came out because people realized that that's what we were doing in the military. We were already doing slide maneuvers and stuff for that stuff. But then once the public saw it, they wanted to suddenly do it in the game and be able to have those options. Same with the wall climbing and all that.
I mean, it's still fun. Like, I played the beta. It's actually really fun. I just think at some point the omni movement just becomes so frustrating for your casual gamer. Sure, the people that play it 24/7, they're gonna love it because it's the new camping is what it is.
Right.
But your casual gamer is not going to want to spend $80 on a game, $79.99, and not have any fun with it.
That's basic. That's not even talking about all the DLCs and all the upgrades and all the weapon camos that you're going to add onto it.
Oh, of course.
Because Lord knows your weapon can't perform good unless it's shiny and glowy in a war environment.
Mine has the eagle with the mullet and the American flag bandana on it. Yeah, that's on every one of my weapons.
All right then.
No,
Other than that, you saw no glitches or anything with the gameplay.
it was the smooth play. I think there was only 3 maps that I played on. The play was smooth. And even everybody that I played with on the multiplayers, none of them were like really into the Omni movement, but it's still really new. Like this was the first weekend that it was out. So, but it's fun. It's enjoyable until it becomes unbearable.
Until everybody and their mother is doing it, like spawn camping.
Right. So what you got there, AJ?
Well, Richard, since you asked so nicely. Well, Richard, so glad you asked. And there's no awkward chop there at all.
That's a glitch in the matrix.
Right. This is my what I call my transforming kit. This is what I use to transform my transformers, as well as opening the box, because I am OCD and have many issues. You
Probably
can check
better
them
for
out.
your hands too.
You can check them out at forbiddenpanel.com. I have many issues of ZKS. I have some more issues of Forbidden Tale. So what's great about being a writer?
Not only do you have issues, but you have back issues.
I have back issues. Soon I'll have my own Wikipedia. So we're gonna start with this guy to help me with the tape. So Richard, talk to me while I do this.
So this is from the new Transformers movie, right? Was it Transformers 1, I believe is the name of it?
Correct.
And this takes place pre-Cybertronian Wars? Right? When they're still...
Yes. This takes place... this is basically when Optimus Prime and Megatron are...
friends?
This would be when like you and I first met. This is like them. What's happening with them. So it'd be like, they're on the way to becoming Transformers, but they're not quite there yet. They're just beta bots. So this version I picked up is basically when they get their transforming partner powers and are able. So this is like their first gen transformations.
Okay.
So this is cool because you can't see. It comes with the background.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And
I would put a stand on that. That thing would be cool to keep for display.
Yeah, it might be. See how it's all wrapped up and stuff, and all of that. Well, I have to take that off. My OCD makes me take it off. So we go here, slicey. What's weird is that this will be the first time I'm introduced to an Optimus Prime that isn't Peter Weller. Peter Weller? Frank Weller. Frank Weller?
I thought his name was... Isn't it Peter Cullen?
Cullen, yes. See, the name Cullen...
Wait a minute.
Automatically makes me think of, that stupid Cullens from Twilight.
Oh.
Anyway, so this will be the first time it's not voiced by him. So that's going to be kind of weird. But at the same time, because he's such a younger version, a younger voice might be more applicable in this case. However, Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron will be weird to hear.
Who?
Brian Tyree Henry. He plays... he was in the Eternals. He was the gay black guy. He was in the Godzilla movies. He was the podcaster guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, him. He's a really phenomenal actor, and he's
Yeah, he's a
lost a
really
lot
good.
of weight
He's a
through
really
all
good
this
character
stuff.
actor too. Yeah.
Um, so seeing him now is like weird because he's super skinny and with doing the voices and stuff too. It's just odd. So I have a pair of snips that I used to take this guy off. Get these snips off. Do, 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 do.
So, Optimus is voiced by Chris Hemsworth, right?
The Mighty Thor, yes. Who didn't realize he was in the Deadpool movie
Yeah, I heard about that.
because they had filmed it so many years ago. He didn't realize he was in it. Ta-da!
It's a pretty all-star cast in this movie, right?
Yeah, I believe. I don't know who was all in it. I just hope it's not Pete Davidson again.
You're not a big Pete Davidson fan?
No, not really. So here
You
he
know
is.
what? Here's one thing about it. That's the only time I've ever found Pete Davidson funny.
Not seeing his face, not seeing his face, it was an advantage. Like I do have to admit that I did not hate his voice role. I just I can't. I don't like the guy. Period.
Yeah, I just thought like with the way they did the character was actually pretty entertaining. So
But I like Statman Crothers better.
I don't think he can do it anymore.
You don't know.
If he's doing it, run.
So here you have it. Pretty small toy, about maybe 6 inches, maybe 7. Looks pretty simple. The SS line, the Studio Series line, has been very adamant about staying as close to uh, the movie replications as they can.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the times they're coming out with their Bumblebee, the movie adaptations, and um, the 86 line is very popular Studio Series because that's
Right.
where the
Yeah.
Transformers, the movie, the animated movie, and season 1 come from. And that's where you get all those Transformers that we grew up loving, but redone in a way to where, like when G1 Transformers G1 came out, they focused more on making it look more like a vehicle
Right.
than they did looking like a functional robot or even being a, a functional robot that you could actually play with or that's articulate
Right.
or anything like that. Nowadays, with the Studio Series, because of the technology is so advanced that they are able to do that, make it look like the Generation 1 Transformer toys in vehicle mode, as well as make it look like their characters that they portray in the movies and the toy show from Generation 1 as they are transformed into their bot modes.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate their line.
As opposed to
But
having a weird spider-like Megatron.
right. However, they're it's still Hasbro, so they still have
Mhm.
that cheap, weird plastic feel, and like you hear
Yeah.
it rattling around and stuff, and it just feels like if AJ got angry, I crushed Optimus, or.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Whereas some of the other figures, like the ones you see behind me, have a lot more metal in them, or a lot more articulation, or a lot more detail paid attention to them, which is
Well, the
why they're
studio
so
series
heavy.
tend to
And
be more reasonably priced too, right?
the Hasbro ones or
Yeah.
the third party ones. The
No.
Hasbro ones, depending on the popularity of the figure and what, like if that show line is popular at the time.
No.
So, like when the movie came out for the 45th anniversary, they jacked the prices up a little bit. But now that it's over, they lowered the prices back down to what it was before. So, but the originals will always be collector's items.
Yeah.
So there you have it, my unboxing of that. You'll probably see them stuck up behind me at some point in the near future podcasts.
What does he? What does his transform? He transform into like a? I'm
He
sure it's a
transforms.
truck, right?
Yeah, it's a pickup truck, but it's more like a Cybertronian pickup truck.
Yeah.
He still has the wheels and whatnot, um, but there's
Is Megatron
there's
a
no
tank?
bed. Yeah, Megatron's a tank. From what I've seen, again.
Yeah.
uh,
I think that's pretty much the standard of what he is now, all the time, right? A tank. It makes
Yeah,
sense for
because
him
they're
to
trying
have.
to get away from that whole gun looking thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, they don't want kids playing with guns, so
Right. Nobody wants
Plus,
to get
it's a way to give him the cannon on the show on the forearm that was the scope originally, and it makes
right.
sense.
And they don't have to explain him growing in size from,
Right.
a measly small handgun into
Yeah.
this
Exactly.
40-foot gigantic robot,
Yeah. There's the. Is it in the movie where he transforms and Starscream's using him as a gun?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. And
his
well, there's
freaking
parts where he
ability.
transforms and Spike is using him, or
Yeah, I
some of the
remember
other
that.
humans use him, like Cobra Commander uses him at one point in the comics,
Yeah,
like
his size. He's Ant Man.
he's got pin particles on him. That's all. They discovered pin
Exactly.
particles before we did. That's all it is.
That's what the what are they called? The cubes, energon cubes are.
Yeah. Yeah. Full of pin particles and pocket dimensions.
Yeah,
Oh, before we completely nerd out,
too late.
uh, as you can tell, sometimes our episodes will end up being just filler episodes or just us geeking out, and we hope you enjoy those too because those are
Usually
just
the most fun.
facets of who we are, and
Yeah.
just insight into who we are and what we do. So, yeah. But that being the case, this wraps up this version of a filler episode, PanelCast 229. Thanks again, Richard, for joining us and keeping us up to date on the wrestling stuff going on. You've been working a lot with the Shadow Network, is that correct?
Yeah, I do work with them. I appear on their podcast when they do custom stuff. Also, there, supporting them every Wednesday. Between them and the Sarlacc Digest guys, they're kind of working together now.
Right. I see they have that like Animation Sunday going on Wednesdays, where like they have a block of time that they're all
Yeah,
palette casting 7, 8, and 9 o'clock different shows and stuff.
yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
and they appear on each other's shows, and it's cool to see them supporting each other, and they support us. So yeah, definitely check them out on YouTube. It's Shadow Nose Network.
And when can we expect another episode of your customization?
I just filmed one today earlier, right when you were calling me. So it'll be out probably. I was gonna say tomorrow. Is tomorrow? Yeah, probably either tomorrow or Saturday, depending on what I'm doing.
This weekend, Beetlejuice comes out to the movie theaters. I will be seeing it and posting a review at some point.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
I can't. I don't know. I'm not really excited to see it. I'll be honest with you.
I heard
I
good things.
I have to, and I loved the first one, sure, but like 20 years of Tim Burton later, like I'm just a little burnt out on the style and stuff. And I don't know. I, I like what Michael Keaton is doing now, as opposed to revisiting all of his properties in different ways. Like, sure, his Batman is awesome in The Flash, but I liked American Assassin. I liked all the other stuff he's doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
He's a really good villain.
yeah, he makes a fantastic villain. His stuff,
Yeah.
the Vulture that he did in
Oh, his
Spider-Man,
Vulture was amazing. He made that movie.
creepy
And
AF.
what was that
Like,
other movie that he did? Oh, Birdman. Is that the name of it?
yeah, Birdman, where
Oh
he won an
man.
Oscar for that too.
Yeah.
He just did a lot of great stuff, and I have no excitement whatsoever for Beetlejuice, but The wife enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it as a kid, so I'll go see the sequel and see how it does.
I'm pretty stoked for it.
So expect a podcast of some sort to pop over there. Some great stuff coming up soon from Forbidden Panel. I promise you a lot of stuff where we're going to be engaging in with the audience.
We're getting engaged?
Yes, we're getting engaged with a random member of the audience. So if you want to be engaged with either Richard or myself,
we're going to raffle ourselves off.
Please send emails and pictures to Not On Your Life, You Dirty Old Fuck.
Yeah. You'll get none. Don't worry about it.
And we will advertise them here on that. No, we have a lot of projects coming up to where we're going to be asking for audience participation and stuff, and expanding the show into different avenues. So expect some good news coming from us pretty soon, and it should be a lot of fun. So unless Richard, you have anything else you want to say?
Nope. Be sure to follow me on YouTube at KS Customs, also on Spotify. I'm on all social media platforms at KS Collectibles, I think. Yeah, that's about it.
Sweet. We're Forbidden Panel. Find us anywhere. Honestly, at this point. It's easier not to find us than it is. All right, guys. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
I'm horror and comedy author Rick Gualtieri, and when you're not assaulting your eyeballs with my books, you should definitely be making sweet love to your ear holes by listening to the Forbidden Panel podcast.